tournament, which can be good or it can be scary. They can be on a heater just like North Carolina State is. You look at South Carolina, what does South Carolina particularly have to do tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock?
Well, I think that has helped them be successful all year is taking care of the basketball. Despite, making shots certain games or not making shots in other games, they've always been able to take care of the basketball, and that gives you more opportunities to get the shots that you're looking for. So I think that's going to be a key component. Obviously Oregon has some talented guards, and one of our former players, Jermaine Cousinard, who's on that team, who's really developed into one of their their top players on that team. But I think for the most part, we've got to rebound the ball well, and then we've got to take care of the basketball to give ourselves a chance.
Real quick, if Aaron Lucas was 25 years old playing college basketball, how would have you performed?
First team All-SEC. It depends on the coach.
Do you realize Cousinard is 25?
I did not realize that. I knew he was an older guy because he was a little bit older when he was here, but he's 25?
Yes, he'll be 26, I believe, in December.
So he's got W-2s.
Yeah.
Dependents?
I have no idea, but that's why I ask you, because that age, that physical maturity, you look at what he's done this year. Yeah. I mean, you realize he came in, I believe, in 1920. Yeah, I believe that's right, 1920.
I thought you meant like 1819.
No.
He's 200 years old? Like, what are we doing?
No. I'm trying to think back. I can't remember because he had to redshirt a year.
Right.
He's in it. This is his 5th year, but he also had to redshirt a year.
Yeah.
So it's technically his 6th year. So that's why I ask you, at 25 years of age, how big of a difference that is.
That's a huge difference because, if you look at just experience alone and have an opportunity to play 30-plus games a year, and then you maximize that out with working out, training, watching film, the maturity. Younger guys just don't know certain things that because you've seen it a lot. If I was 20, 25, even 24, I think even my best years in Europe were when I was 24 and 25 years old. So that experience alone can reshape how you play, can reshape your leadership style on the floor. So I think if I had that opportunity, obviously NIL would have been great as well. I think I would have been a little bit of a different player. I enjoyed my college experience at South Carolina, but I think if I was 25 with an NIL deal, it would have been less time at the Russell House.
I can't. I'm trying to do math real quick to see. Jermaine Cousinard's played 126 career college basketball games.
He's appeared in 126.
Appeared, yes. Appeared. And that was in the COVID shortened season, the COVID year of 20. I think that was 2021. Mm-hmm. He only made an appearance in 17 games.
And so even that 22-23 year, he appeared in 19, so he missed possibly 15 games.
12, 13, 14, yeah.
He had an opportunity to at least go through film, practicing, studying the game. So, yeah, that's a wealth of experience right there to be on the floor.
Aaron, we always appreciate your insight. Thank you for coming in. We will definitely be catching up with you in the next few weeks as well as we go through the tournament and get your expertise. And a lot of fun just talking 1-3-1 with you and the intricacies of playing basketball. Man, good luck with you next few weeks. Hope you have a great Easter.
Appreciate it. I hope you do the same. I appreciate you all having me on. Go Gamecocks, go Diamonds.
We will catch up with Brad Crawford, talk a little SEC football and spring practice for the Gamecocks when we come back. You're listening to The Early Game.
The Game Network. The home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 100.5 The Game in Florence. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. Also on the 107.5 The Game app and streaming live on The Game TV. Listen to Gamecocks baseball on The Game. And if a Gamecocks batter hits a grand slam, you could win cash. You could win cash. You could win cash. You could win cash in the Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union Grand Slam giveaway. Go to 1075thegame.com and register. Brought to you by Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union and The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game. A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
All right, so it was like 40 degrees this morning when I got up. It's going to be 73 today. That means last night had the heat on. This afternoon, cut the air conditioner on. That is a workout for your heating and air unit, and if yours is already struggling a little bit and you're a little concerned with the summer, with the Columbia heat coming up, don't be. You can beat the seasons with AAA Heating and Air in the Midlands. And if you need a system upgrade, get a free replacement estimate today. That's right, free replacement estimate, 803-677-1500. Call AAA Heating and Air. If you're worried about cost, don't be. With their guaranteed financing options, comfort is always within your budget, especially the new 12 months, no payments or interest in 2024. So call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. You're going to want to have a brand new air conditioner this summer. AAA Heating and Air is there to provide it. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
2 brand new Kias. Be there this Saturday at 5 p.m. No purchase necessary. Just come in and register at either location. JT's Kia, Greystone Boulevard or Killian Road. Don't miss this giveaway.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service, Guy Gant's company. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are. The Gant girls. You know, Chelsea and Madison. You know some of the things they do at Pioneer Tree Service? Tree and shrub removal, tree pruning and thinning, tree planting, tree bracing, raising tree canopies, stump grinding removal, storm damage services, property cleaning and grading, demolition and rock removal, right-of-way maintenance. You got to get in touch with these people. 803-794-8253. Let me give you that again. 803-794-8253. Call right now and get a free estimate. For the most challenging jobs, Pioneer Tree Service. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust, and that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service.
803-794-8253. Or find us online at pioneertreesc.com.
Call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote.
How would you like to drive a new car with no payments for 3 full months? That's exactly what you can do when your car loan is with State Credit Union. Visit one of their 19 branches or their website for details. Apply for your new car loan online at scscu.com. That's scscu.com. Offer not available for internal refinances. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender. Federally insured by the NCUA.
What you're talking about. Brought to you by Love Chevy, the best selection of new Chevys. Right now, no hassle, no ridiculous add-on stickers. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
It's getting warm outside, and now's the time to have the wind in your face and your knees in the breeze on a new Honda motorcycle from Carolina Honda Powerhouse. Right now, you can get up to $1,000 in free accessories with the purchase of a new Honda Street Bike. Gold Wings, Rebel 500s, Rebel 1100s, Honda Fury, and more. This deal is exclusive at Carolina Honda Powerhouse and won't last long. Get up to $1,000 in free accessories on your new Honda Street Bike. Hurry in today. Take exit 70 off I-20 and turn by the Flying J, or visit carolinahonda.com.
Plus tax entitled with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. It's the 3rd week of JT's Kia Mania, and JT's going crazy. Make him an offer. He won't say no to nothing. JT's Kia Mania is your chance to pick up a new Kia at Kia Mania Savings with no down payment and 0 payments till September. JT also has 0% interest. With every new Kia, get a huge cashback check. Rush to Kia Mania, Greystone, or Killian. JT's Kia Mania is back.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line, 803-404-6100. Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic
Is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
A few things out there that we need to make you aware of. 378 at Pineview Road. Also, Broad River Road at Greystone. Lake Carolina Boulevard near Hart Mill Drive. Kelly Mill Road near EJW Road. And I-26 eastbound after exit 97. We do have a slowdown there. One more to make you aware of, and that is hard scrabble at Summit Parkway. 74 is what we're looking for the high today. 72 tomorrow, so we'll bask in all of that sunshine. 66 on Friday, maybe some rain coming in late. And then Saturday morning might see some showers that'll be clearing off, and a high of 65 right now. 47 on the early game.
with Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen. Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Yesterday, South Carolina got underway over on the practice fields for spring practice number 1 of 2024, and the first spring practice in quite some time without Spencer Rattler. Joining us now to discuss that for a few moments. Just kind of look ahead to what South Carolina needs to do. Brad Crawford of 24/7 Sports. Welcome in, Mr. Crawford. I know it is March Madness. I know that you are fully invested in bracketology and basketball, but thank you for taking a few minutes to talk a little spring football with us.
Officially underway around the SEC, and in these parts of the Carolinas, none bigger than South Carolina, and how things are going to look ahead of Shane Beamer's 4th season.
Well, let's real quick, just a couple thoughts on a couple different things. Let's start on the coaching staff first. Obviously, a few new faces, some changes, and let's start with Sean Elliott and how you think bringing in the former Georgia State coach, head coach, impacts coaching, how it impacts recruiting, how it impacts maybe South Carolina's overall mentality in 2024.
I think the mentality part for me, Bill, is the biggest. I think it's one of the most underrated positive hires across SEC football this spring. It was sort of unexpected. I know there was some whispers of it maybe late December, early January, and then it happened. You're talking about the guy who's going to be in charge of run game coordination and tight ends, but he's going to have a hand in how the offensive line looks, and most importantly, how it prepares and how nasty it is. Because under Sean Elliott a decade ago, South Carolina had one of its best rushing attacks for 2 or 3 seasons in program history, and I think the Gamecocks can get back to that with this pretty deep running back class they have now. But one important factor is Rocket Sanders, and his shoulder is still an issue, and Shane Beamer said yesterday that he's one of 3 or 4 starters who is going to be out for the entirety of spring.
Yeah, when you talk about a running back position like that, how important would it have been for Rocket Sanders to be there? Or because it's running back and it's hand them the ball and run toward the goal line, is it less concerning than maybe, and I'll just throw this, less concerning than maybe having Nick Harbor out there actually going through drills and continuing to develop as a wide receiver?
Yeah, I think the bigger news yesterday was the Nick Harbor situation, and the fact that he's going to be out largely for most of spring practice with this busy track schedule and preparing for the 2024 Summer Olympics. Nick's a guy who obviously has a ton of talent. He has a chance to be South Carolina's wide receiver 1 next season. But if he's not going to go through these 15 spring practices, it's hard to imagine him, having a huge impact maybe early in the season, because this was a vital spring for him in terms of development. And getting back to Rocket Sanders, he's obviously played SEC football for most of 3.5 seasons now. I do think it's vital for him to, run behind a new look offensive line and sort of get camaraderie with teammates. But it sounds like he's been at practice. He's still going through some drills, just not going to be in contact this spring.
Brad Crawford, 24/7 Sports, joining us. South Carolina opening spring practice yesterday. On the coaching thoughts again, that whole situation, how did you absorb? What did you know, or what can you say to how we went from James Coley? Obviously, we know the situation, but your thoughts on that to what you've heard about Mike Furry.
Well, you guys know the previous wide receiver coach. He really wanted to be here. He really loved South Carolina. And talking about the guy that went to Illinois, everybody knows about that situation. And the Mike Furry hire, I think it was a quick decision from Shane Beamer after – he lost a guy to Georgia, and that was a big situation because, he hired him to be an elite recruiter, and obviously James had that reputation previously. But getting Mike Furry, this is a vital situation for the Gamecocks because it's a position of interest. A lot of us think that Nick Harbor is probably going to be the top wide receiver in that room, but like we mentioned earlier, without spring practice, who's to say? So it's Fury's job to kind of get those guys motivated, bunch of transfers, three new faces from the portal who are probably going to be, within that 2 deep at each of the 3 wide receiver spots. So we have a first-year starting quarterback like Lenora Sellers. We know he's talented, and There's a ton of hype behind him, but he has to get production from not only his offensive line and running game, but especially at the wide receiver group. And this new hire for the Gamecocks, it really needs to pan out in year one.
The final offensive position, it feels like all over. We just talked running backs, wide receivers. We really didn't get into offensive line, but your contacts, your sources, they have loved Lenora Sellers. The overall, I was talking to J.C. Sherbert in here about him yesterday. I said, I don't want to hear the hype. I don't want to hear it. I want to see it on opening night, August 31st. But how big, what is the goal for Lenore Sellers, Dow Loggins, the offense as a whole, you think over the next 14 practices? Where does Lenore Sellers need to be, in Brad Crawford's opinion, on April 20th at midnight following the spring game?
I think the biggest thing for him over this next month and a half and heading into the spring game is just leadership qualities. Shane Beamer mentioned yesterday that he's a lot more vocal now because you don't have Spencer Rattler in that room leading the offense. You know, Lenora Sellers is probably going to be South Carolina's best player this season on either side of the football. And I think if he takes the steps to the practice field and sort of knows that, not have a cocky attitude, but obviously as a starting quarterback of an SEC football team in need of a really big year in year 4, which is obviously pivotal for Shane Beamer and his staff as well, then Sellers has to express confidence, which, you know, sort of matriculates its way through his teammates too. But the offensive line has to perform. I think South Carolina is going to have a running game for the first time in a couple of years. And the biggest question for me is not at quarterback, and it's not at who backs up Lenora Sellers, but it's just at wide receiver. You know, right now I just do not know if South Carolina is comfortable with a 4 to 5 wide receiver rotation, and I think we're going to see that over the next 14 or so practices.
Brad Crawford, just a few minutes left with him this morning, giving us kind of his thoughts on spring practice. Flipping over to the defense, and they played better in the final 3 games, but still there was a 9-game stretch really struggling. Biggest goal for Clayton White, is it developing linebackers? Is it improving depth on the defense line? Where do you go just with the overall big picture at defense?
I think it's definitely developing linebackers. Gamecocks have not had an impact linebacker since, I want to say Sky Moore, going back several years, a guy who you could rely on to really make plays. That's a position group, Bill, that this fall really has to produce. The secondary is going to be young, but I think it's talented. Shane Beamer likes what he has in the secondary. Of course, Eamon Warry's back, and they were able to keep him from leaving in the portal. They have a new look pass rush. They've got the Georgia Tech edge who's going to play some linebacker too. And then another big situation is Mo Kaba. Are we going to see this guy on the field be an impact player? He's been hurt throughout his career in Columbia, probably not going to play this spring, Shane said yesterday. So it's another position group, linebacker and wide receiver. I think that by the end of April, the Gamecock coaching staff is going to want to feel a whole lot better than they do now about those 2 spots.
Brad, you cover recruiting to some extent. Thankfully, you don't have to call recruits. Trust me, enjoy that part of it. But there are concerns about the defensive tackle recruiting. Now, they did bring in some transfers. DeAndre Jules is a big kid from Pittsburgh. But long-term, that interior defensive line, your thoughts on that? Because the SEC, we know, it's one in the trenches.
Yeah. It has to get nastier, and it has to get bigger, Bill. These teams that are consistent, top 10, top 15 programs, they all have sort of a nasty streak up front, and the Gamecocks have really lost that, not just in the Shane Beamer era, but going back to Will Muschamp as well. They just haven't had a ton of impactful defensive tackles. And when the Gamecocks were finishing inside the top 10 3 consecutive years under Spurrier, they had All-American type talent at that position, not just edge, but in the interior as well. So you want to see a defensive front this fall that not only gets after the quarterback, but can also stop the run, because like you mentioned, winning SEC football games, you have to be good at the point of attack. And at times when the Gamecocks have, lost to elite competition in recent years, that's where it starts. They can't push the opposition off the football, and that 2 defensive tackle spots, that's where it starts.
And let's be clear on this. I'm talking about the future, because I do I love TJ Sanders. As much as people talk about Alex Huntley, I love T.J. Sanders, and I think he could continue to develop under Travian Wright. This year, though, your thoughts, Alex Huntley, T.J. Sanders, Tonka Hemingway is back. Nick Barrett is a bigger-bodied kid. Again, the incoming DeAndre Jules and Monkel Goodwine. So your thoughts on the defensive tackle situation this year? Because I actually think it's okay. The question I just asked you is more in reference to the future.
Yeah, and you want to see more production still, even though a lot of these guys are back and they're veterans. I think Tonka Hemingway, last year this time, Bill, Xavier Legette was the guy that I thought was going to have a breakout, just totally great year, and he even exceeded my expectations. Well, Tonka Hemingway is the guy, fifth-year senior, who I think this season can be like first-team All-SEC type talent if he, really puts it all together. And I think if you speak to South Carolina's coaching staff, they say the same thing. He's a little bit bigger now. He's about 6'3", 300 pounds. And, most star defensive tackles in the SEC are 320, 325 range. But Tonka can move. He has some moves in the interior. You mentioned T.J. Sanders and some other guys, but Tonka's the guy that, I think he's kind of the straw that stirs the drink up front. And if the Gamecocks have a good defense from front to back, I think it starts up there with Hemingway.
Before I know you got to go, but last question for you here. What are you specifically, as you read, you talk, and you listen to what's being said, what are one or two things Brad Crawford is specifically listening for to be said or talked about this spring at the University of South Carolina?
I think a bowl game for me is huge for Shane Beamer. I don't have Shane Beamer on the hot seat, or I don't think his job's in jeopardy if the Gamecocks miss bowl season this fall. However, heading into year 5 in 2025, if this season does not work out for South Carolina, then you start talking about the heat and the pressure really building. This is a group that the coaching staff has said on the record the 2 deep is not finalized. I think right now the only starting positions are at safety with, Eamon Worry has that locked down, and Lenora Sellers. Outside of those 2 players, I think every position is up for grabs, which can be a good thing. A lot of new faces. Shane brought in a top 20 signing class. Those guys are going to be impact players. I'm looking at seeing major improvements along the offensive line and the running game, and that's 2 spots. We've talked throughout this conversation about how important it is for the Gamecocks to be better at the line of scrimmage. And I know at least offensively, I think they're going to be much improved there. And if they get a running game, then Lenora Sellers, he's going to be a heck of a player at South Carolina. And, the staff has told me that for years since he signed.
And before I let you go, you got your Final Four picked out yet?
My wife does. Okay. I haven't made my bracket yet. She's going with Arizona to win it all. I don't like that pick too much, but yeah.
Good luck. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. Appreciate you stopping by as always. A lot of great insight, and we will have you back next month to kind of recap what you have been hearing and what you think. And appreciate again you stopping by this morning.
Hey man, good to hear from you.
Great talking to you. Brad Crawford, 24/7 Sports, does a great job as always, and appreciate his insight. We'll come back. We'll get back into a little bit of spring practice, let you listen to a little bit more from Shane Beamer. Look back at the NCAA tournament. Got 2 more games tonight, so a lot to get to, and only about 25 minutes to do it. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It is the early game.
The Game Network. The home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 100.5 The Game in Florence. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. Also on the 107.5 The Game app and streaming live on The Game TV. Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. A true reflection of quality. The Game TV.
Bill Gunner for Love Chevrolet, your number 1 volume Chevrolet dealership for over 60 years, right here in the Midlands, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. And you know what? Love Chevrolet has done it the right way. They've done it with honesty. They've done it with integrity. They've done it with first-class service. And that's why I love being a part of the Love Chevrolet family, is the way they treat their customers. Buying a car, buying a truck, SUV, it should be a phenomenal experience. It's exciting. You're adding someone to the family. I know it's a vehicle, but you're basically adding someone to the family. And Love Chevrolet, they understand that. That's why they treat you with respect. They don't sell above MSRP, and they offer you the $1,000 $1,000 low price guarantee, which means you can shop other dealerships and take it back to the folks that love Chevrolet, and they will top it, or they'll write you a check for $1,000. Hasn't happened yet, won't happen anytime soon. Go find out for yourself. I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, and together, let's drive.
The tournament is here. BetOnline is your bracket headquarters for this season with the best bracket contest out there and odds, lines, and info on every game and every round right up until the national championship. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Plus, text second title with approved credit call 866-243-4623 for detail. We interrupt this broadcast with an important news alert. There's a slasher on the loose. JT's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram is slashing prices. New Rams were $12,000 off, slashed to $14,000 off. New Jeeps were $10,000 off, slashed to $12,000 off. This just in. New Chargers and Challengers slashed $10,000 off. Now here's the weather. Whether or not your credit is cloudy, JT sees sunny days ahead. Nobody fights harder to get you approved. JT's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Greystone Boulevard and 378 Lexington. Jeep Celebration event.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-999-3020.
Lee, location at the Columbia Secret for Weight Loss.
We had some health scares with other members of our family. We knew that we needed to get healthier. Lost 20 pounds in a month. I'm happy about that and still progressing and using the lessons and the things learned from Columbia Secret for Weight Loss to help me in my journey.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. That's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-999-3020. That's 803-999-3020. Or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
There's something remarkable about the University of South Carolina. It's in the labs, where researchers are discovering ways to make communities healthier and stronger. It's in the nation's best first-year student experience, in top-ranked programs in nursing and health sciences. It's where more South Carolina students have access to higher education than ever before. Because when you stand for something bigger than yourself, you can create something that benefits us all. Behold the remarkable we.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best riders tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Colonial Life Arena April 6th and 7th. Brought to you by BKT Tires, Great Clips, and Texas Roadhouse. Visit monsterjam.com today.
JT's Kia Mania is back, and we're giving away 2 brand new Kias. Be there this Saturday at 5 p.m. No purchase necessary. Just come in and register at either location. JT's Kia, Greystone Boulevard or Killian Road. Don't miss this giveaway.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line, 803-404-6100. Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic
is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
It has been a little bit busy out on the highways this morning. Just kind of giving you a rundown. 378 at Pineview Road, still working that earlier tie-up, as well as Broad River Road at Greystone. Old Cherokee Road at Old Chapin in Lexington. Lake Carolina Boulevard near Hart Mill Drive. Kelly Mill near EJW Road. Hardscrabble Road at Summit Parkway. And I-26 eastbound between exits 97 and 101. There is a slowdown there due to an accident. So be careful. Sunny, 74 today. Mostly sunny and 72 tomorrow. Some rain coming in late on Friday. A little bit on Saturday morning. Then it should clear out. Right now, though, it's 47 on the early game.
You're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
It's a great day. Well, for those that love baseball, it's a great day, Jen Jensen. Are you aware that Major League Baseball is underway? Are you aware that today is opening day? And thank you to Preston Thorne, by the way, for bringing this up. Is anybody else aware that today is opening day for Major League Baseball?
I knew it because it's on here in the studio. It's a tie game right now.
It is that's right. For those of you, and if you have
the Soul Series.
The Soul Series. Is that really what they're calling it?
I think that's what I just saw, which I was kind of laughing about that. I mean,
we have started this season. Major League Baseball is officially underway. Today is opening day. They are in Seoul, South Korea. It's the Dodgers and the Padres. And as Jen just told you, for those of you out there, and if you have gambled on this game, we do ask here that you seek help. Please find a hobby, something. But 2-2, Dodgers and Padres. It will count in the standings. Major League Baseball has officially begun. This is the dumbest thing. I get it.
Pretty much.
I get it. I really do. I do get it. But come on. What are we doing? It's America's pastime, and we're opening it in another country. Let's rethink what we're doing. Send them over on a little tour if you want. Pay the players accordingly. But don't open the season. And don't have games that count in the standings. Opening the season in South Korea. But it's 2-2 for those of you wondering, or if you have laid some pizza money on it this morning. 803-404-6100. Do want to remind you, you need to get signed up. The 107.5 The Game annual golf tournament, the spring golf tournament taking place April 5th at Charwood Golf Club. Get registered today. 803-755-2000. Again, that's 803-755-2000. $400 is for a foursome, not individually, so it's $100 each, $400 for your team. Get your team together, call out to Charwood today and get registered. We'll have a 10 a.m. shotgun start April 5th. That's a Friday, Final Four weekend. Again, we are all expecting that evening South Carolina to play in the Final Four. The women's Final Four will be Friday, Sunday. Of course, the men's Saturday, Monday, as always. But we will get out there and discuss that. We want to see you. We're going to have a great time. Onion sausage for breakfast. Always delicious. Piece of bread, little mustard. Onion sausage sponsored by Old Timey Meat Market. We'll have a mimosa bar in the morning set up with Saki's Wine and Spirits. We will have lunch from Firehouse Subs. So we've got food, we got beverage you're taking care of there. You're going to want to come out early. We'll also have some great giveaways. South Carolina baseball tickets, Carowinds tickets, concert tickets, craft beer passport. We have got so much going on, and we expect to see you April the 5th. That's a Friday, 10 a.m. shotgun start, but you're going to want to get out early, hang around. I can go ahead and tell you, it never rains on the golf course. It's going to be an amazing day out at Charwood Golf Club, and we want to see you. $400 per team. You don't want to miss this event. You want to come and hang with us, talk some basketball, talk some spring football. We want to see you April the 5th, Charwood Golf Club. Call out today and get registered. 803-755-2000. And that's 803-755-2000 is how you can come out and join us. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. More from spring practice yesterday. Shane Beamer. And big thank you, by the way, to Aaron Lucas for joining us in the previous hour. A lot of great basketball information there. Big thank you to Brad Crawford for joining us there in the previous segment just to talk about what we are looking for, what he's looking for, what we should be looking for over the next 14 practices when you hear from the coaches. And again, today, Dow Loggins and Clayton White will both be speaking with the media. So we'll hear a little bit from Dow Loggins as it pertains to Lenora Sellers. We'll hear a little bit from Clayton White as it pertains to his defense. But a lot for us to get into there. But yesterday, one of the things that's always asked as we get spring going is about injuries. All right, who's available, who's not available? How are we looking? Got to have some guys ready to go, some guys that need reps. This is Shane Beamer yesterday talking about the injury situation as the Gamecocks open spring practice.
Everybody out there, the only guys that weren't able to do anything at all today were C.J. Adams. He had a little bit of a spring break injury, which is unfortunate. So C.J. will be out for the entire spring. It's a finger, nothing crazy long term, but it'll keep him out of the spring. Mo Kaba was not able to do anything today. He would most likely will not do anything this spring, but fully expecting to be ready for the season. And then Rocket did not do anything today. Very unlikely that he'll be able to do anything this spring. He's making progress. He's getting better. But coming off that shoulder, he's not where he needs to be right now. So he's when I say not doing anything, he's doing some of the rehab stuff at practice. But as far as throwing him in there into live action, he will likely not do any of that this spring. Everyone else was able to. Those three guys will most likely be out for the whole spring. Chase Swigert, offensive lineman, he didn't do anything today. And Jackson Hughes, the offensive tackle, Jackson didn't do anything today. But we're hopeful in the next 2 weeks that Jackson and Chase will be back and able to get going again. And then everyone else was able to do a little something today. May have been limited, may have not been able to do all the team periods against the defense, but they at least did the bulk of the practice, everyone else on the team. So we're in a pretty decent shape other than those three long-term guys.
All right, not bad. Now, I will say, even though it's not an injury, Nick Harbor not being out there, we've discussed that a good bit this morning. Not being out there is kind of like an injury, not being able to get reps, go through practice, develop his on fundamentals and technique. That is a part of it. Rocket Sanders, on the other hand, I mean, this is a guy you heard Brad Crawford kind of discuss it. Rocket Sanders being able to be around, at least learn the offense, but he's refined. He is refined. He's the guy that, all right, just get him healthy. Get that guy healthy. And as Marshall asks on our Firehouse Subs text line, he says, is Sanders' injury the same one that at Arkansas, or is this another one? No, he's having some shoulder issues, and this is going to be something that we're going to have to monitor a little bit as we move forward as it pertains to his health, because that's a big part. I like South Carolina's running back room more this year than I did last year. But Rocket Sanders is a proven SEC commodity. And so really, as we see here on March the 20th, April, May, June, July, August, that's 5 months. And quick math, and didn't have to take off the shoe to get there. But 5 months, roughly about 160 days, 70 days until the first kickoff. Focus on his health, man. Get that guy ready. Make sure he knows the plays, but he fundamentally, he's fine. You've got to get him healthy. Now, the other part of spring practice, we got new coaches, almost a whole new offensive staff, basically a brand new offensive staff with the exception of Dow Loggins and Lonnie Teasley. Yesterday, you had Shane Beamer talking about his assessment of the new coaches, specifically the offensive staff. Here's what he had to say.
Just that intense. They all have their own personalities, and it was great having them out there. Coach Blackwell, Coach Furry, Joe D, and then Sean. All those guys, it was cool, their first practice being out there as well. And I know they were excited also, but probably that's the biggest thing. Joe D, you hear him, you see him, he's everywhere, he's high energy, flying around on the practice field like we all are. His meetings are the same way. They're very, we're maybe not doing movie quotes and history lessons like we have in the past, but it's very, 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 very high energy. There's no dozing off, and there's no losing focus in that meeting. His special teams meetings, that's for sure. So he coaches that way in the meetings. He coaches that way on the field. Same thing with Sean. I mean, he's just what you thought, intense, and in the huddle with the offense today, getting those guys going. And I'm really talking about the young players that I'm excited about. I'm really, really excited about this coaching staff that we've put together, and things kind of roundabout way of getting there. But at the end of the day, I'm convinced that it all worked out the way that it was supposed to work out, and really like the group. They're great guys and great teachers, and they love being on the field with the players, and they showed that today.
That's Sean Elliott again talking about the new coaches that are filling in. Obviously, Joe DeCamillis, also the special teams coach, but again, essentially a brand new offensive staff for Dow Loggins to work with, and how they, not just the players, but how the coaches gel as we move through here this particular spring practice. 803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up. The NCAA tournament, much like Major League Baseball, it's underway. I don't know if we agree with it. I don't know if we like it, but it is officially underway. We'll look ahead to tonight's 2 games, as well as we'll get you an update. The Dodgers have put up 3. They're up 5-2 for those of you out there who are interested in.
So excited to hear that.
Big Dodgers fan in there. Big Dodgers fan. Big Dodgers fan. You're listening to the early game.
The Game Network. The home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 100.5 The Game in Florence. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. Also on the 107.5 The Game app and streaming live on The Game TV.
It's the easiest way to snag Gamecocks baseball tickets for nothing. It's our Twin Peaks dance contest from the Game. Just stop by Twin Peaks in the Vista Thursday starting at 11:30 a.m. before our live show at Twin Peaks and randomly draw one of the 68 teams in the tournament. Hold on to that team. If your squad wins it all, you'll snag season tickets to the remainder of the 2024 USC baseball season. The Twin Peaks Dance Contest from Twin Peaks and the Game.
Bill Gunner for the John Ecton Law Firm. The Ecton Law Firm, man, they're ready to help you and allow them to help you. If you're having tax troubles, tax issues here in 2024, if you've received a dreaded notice of intent to levy or you've got other issues with your taxes and the IRS is after you, John Ecton and his team are ready to help you. It all starts with a free consultation. Don't let this stress get to you. Call right now. Mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, and get a free consultation. 803-771-9800. Again, that's 803-771-9800. You got a lot of things you need to worry about, including your NCAA bracket. You don't need to worry about tax troubles, not this time of year, and John Ecton has a local team dedicated to resolving your income or business tax issues for good. The Ecton Law Firm understands the challenges you face, and that's why they're there to help you. 803-771-9800. Visit them on the web, ectonlawfirm.com. Call them today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly. Michigan fans who were in Ann Arbor last weekend had a unique opportunity to score some major bargains. Among them, former Wolverines coach Jim Harbaugh's official team issued clothing for $20. Prior to moving west, the Harbaughs held a garage sale to end all garage sales. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, and the best daily promotions in the business. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. This U.S. promotional offer not available in D.C., Mississippi, North Carolina, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. For West Virginia, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. First bet offer for new customers only, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards or non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
As a professional musician, Lachi stays true to her creative vision, even with continuing vision loss from a growing hole in her eyesight. In time, Lachi could face the possibility of total blindness, but she's hopeful because she knows she's not alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding diseases, providing real hope to those fighting vision loss. And our nationwide community of local chapters provides networking and support for people with vision loss, as well as their loved ones, because the best way to fight against blinding diseases is to fight together. And for Lachi, winning means using her voice to bring hope to others with vision loss. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Learn more about how you can help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental disorder that requires a comprehensive approach to treatment. Learn more at moretoadhd.com. This message brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them,
walk them, pet them, and care for them.
Oh, it's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be in about 73 degrees. It's going to be phenomenal. And then we're going to go to Friday where it's calling for rain. It's like a 98% chance of rain Friday. It's like 70% chance on Saturday. So the question is your roof ready for that? Have you done leak detection lately? I mean, have you gotten up on your roof and checked it out? Probably not. You probably haven't. But you need to let the professionals do it. And Mid-State Roofing for nearly 30 years has been the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry, and they're ready to help you today. They do it with a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week call center. An on-call technician is ready to come out and help you. So call Mid-State Roofing and get some leak detection. 803-356-1919. Again, it's 803-356-1919. Make the call today and get a maintenance contract. That way, this spring, this summer, you feel comfortable with your roof. Call Mid-State Roofing today, 803-356-1919.
The early game with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen. Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
A lot of newness.
He swings and drives it high in the air. A country mile long. This ball is deep and off of the roof of the apartment building in left field. Hello, Cole Messina. His 8th homer of the season. This one the longest to date. South Carolina goes in front 1-0. Top of the first inning.
Cole Messina last night with a home run at Fluor Field to open the game. South Carolina would go on to win 14-8, not without being a little dramatic. They were up 12-2 in the 4th inning. Looked like they were heading to another one of these non-conference 10-run rule games. I actually have no clue if that was in place or not. Coaches have to decide on that in the non-conference game. But it looked like they were heading to a 10-run rule game last night, or mercy ruling USC Upstate, only to see USC Upstate score 6 in the 6th to cut it to 12-8. South Carolina would then answer back in the 8th with a nice Blake Jackson 2-run home run to make it 14-8. The Gamecocks would move to 16-5 on the season. And again, a reminder, you need to go to 1075thegame.com and get registered for the Palmetto Citizens FCU Grand Slam giveaway. Again, the Palmetto Citizens FCU Grand Slam giveaway. What is that, you ask? Well, every game, $25 is added to the pot. Gamecocks hit a couple home runs last night. None of them were a Grand Slam. Therefore, there's now $525 in the pot. And if you're signed up, if you're registered at 1075thegame.com and a South Carolina batter hits a Grand Slam home run, you can win the pot. All you need to do is get registered at 1075thegame.com. It's the Palmetto Citizens FCU Grand Slam giveaway. Again, courtesy of Palmetto Citizens. Thank you to them. 803-404-6100. Gamecock Larry has an NFL question. Got about a minute. What you think, Gamecock Larry? What's the NFL question for you real quick?
Okay, Bill. I just seen something right across the bottom of my TV screen, something about the NFL's approved kneeling something. They approved kneeling. I just don't know. I don't understand what it's about. Because you got an answer to that?
Not yet. If they just approved, no. I don't. I'm looking feverishly, Gamecock Larry, at Twitter and at ESPN to try and see what we may be discussing here. I will keep an eye out here over the next few minutes and see if something pops up for you. How's that?
Okay. Have a good day. Love all y'all. Old Gamecock Larry's been under the weather. Just woke up this morning at 6 feet. Something I don't know.
Yep.
But I'm getting better. Everything's going to be all right. Go Gamecocks, love all, especially 107.5 in the morning. Love Jen, Bill, and Preston. Go Gamecocks.
Take care. Thank you, Big Guy. Yeah, I have to look for that. I have the TV here on ESPN because, again, if you're not aware, today is unofficial opening day for Major League Baseball. Hope on our early game live stream said, I thought opening day was the end of next week. Well, yes, Hope, that should be the way it is, but technically the Dodgers and the Padres are playing the MLB World Tour, as Jen did say, Soul Series. And the reason we call it that, or the reason we call it opening day, is because the Dodgers, who are up 5-2 right now in the top of the ninth, if they win, guess what? They're 1-0 on the season. It counts in the win-loss standings. Therefore, welcome to Major League Baseball opening day, much like the first four. Tonight, couple games going on. Get yourself prepared. Grambling and Montana State, 640 True TV, Boise State, and Colorado. Or maybe you should just go ahead and get a good night's sleep, because tomorrow we get fully into the actual NCAA tournament. Y'all have a great rest of the day.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence, knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Bill Gunner for the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder, and First Palmetto Bank. I tell you what, just like hitting a last-second three-pointer, man, when you purchase that new home or you refinance and get a great deal, there is no better